Good morning, everyone. It is Bridget here, fresh from my kitchen today, wishing all the dads, all the grandpas, all the uncles, all the brothers, all the fur dads out there a very, very happy Father's Day for this wonderful Sunday that we have currently happening here in Sydney. And look, it's an exciting day for us in our household because we are celebrating our father. We're celebrating my husband. We're celebrating the man who holds us all together, Mahai. It's his day today. So happy birthday to my love, Mahai. If you are celebrating Father's Day today with someone that you love, or maybe you are dad who someone is celebrating with you, good on you, and I hope you have the most wonderful, wonderful day. But I thought I would start this day off with a little cooking class because, quite frankly, breakfast can be quite important when it comes to Father's Day. So one of the things I would love you guys to let me know today is where you are coming from. So whatever city you're coming from today, let us know in the comments, because we all like to just keep an eye on where this, this diaspora of people are that are watching these videos. But also, if you are celebrating Father's Day today, or if you're celebrating a dad, or if you're celebrating a mum, dad, it's anyone that has spent time with you or you've spent time with them, please let us know, because I absolutely love these occasions, right? Because it just gives me and all of you guys the opportunity to spoil someone that we love. And that's what today is all about. It's about spoiling that special person. Doesn't matter who that special person is. You guys know who that special person is. And today in my household, it is my husband, Mahai. It is the father of my children. It is the man who supports me through thick and thin, even when I'm being a dork. And that happens often, by the way. I'm being a bit of a dork. To my husband, Mahai, for just being the most incredible father, the most incredible support person as we navigate this crazy life. And also to my own father, who is the most beautiful, humble and generous man. Tupuna, I love you. I love you, Dad. I love you. I love you. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time when you come to Sydney. But today, we're going to cook some food. I'm not sure whether you guys have seen my previous video. So yesterday, I taught you guys how to make the most healthiest pancakes. Gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free pancakes. That was yesterday. Go back onto Bridget's Kitchen. You will find the video recipe. Prior to that, the day before that, I was on my way to Newcastle and I was like, I'll do a quick little video on how to cook eggs. Scrambled eggs. The best scrambled egg recipe in the world that I cooked in the Oprah Winfrey Show. That was a couple days ago. You can go through Bridget's Kitchen, you will find all those videos. But today what we're actually going to make is something that's a little bit close to my heart and something that I could not believe. I've been away from New Zealand now for 12, 13 years. I've been living in Australia and around the world. And going back to New Zealand, going and looking at cafe menus and seeing that they have mince on toast on cafe menus, I'm like, are you serious? That's what we used to have for breakfast. When it was not just a special occasion, but it was usually the weekend, would have mince on toast. So I thought I would take that very Kiwi, but it's also very Australian idea of having mince on toast, but doing the most healthiest version. So I'm going to be doing mince on toast for you guys. And we're going to make the mince healthy, of course. We're also going to make the bread healthy, of course, 90-second cauliflower bread. And I'm also going to teach you guys how to make the perfect poached egg. So there's 3 amazing techniques that we're doing in today's video. 3 amazing ones. But they're simple, they're easy. Once you know the techniques, you'll be smashing out Father's Day breakfast, Father's Day lunch, whatever it is, or even Mother's Father's Day, or even fur baby Father's Day, or even, brother Father's Day, whoever is the person in your life, that wonderful person who has helped to create you, celebrate them today. Celebrate them today. Whether you're away from them or you're close to them, celebrate them today. All right, let's get into the recipe. It is very, very simple, as I was saying, but there are 3 components that we're doing today. Component number 1 is the mince, which is really important when you're making mince on toast. Really important. All right, come down to my bench so we can start to cook this together. All right, so mince on toast. You can see here I already have my non-stick wok, my favorite non-stick wok, on a medium heat. It is just staying nice and hot for me. It's ready for me when I'm ready to throw ingredients into it. So the first thing that we need to do is start to think about the wonderful fragrant ingredients we're going to start to put into our pan. So the first thing I'm going to think about is a bit of an onion. I have pre-peeled this onion because anyone who's watched any of my videos will know that I have a little bit of a I have a hard time with onions. They make me cry. So I pre-peeled that onion. So taking up a sharp knife, I'm actually going to just sharpen my knife just a little bit before we start. Don't be afraid to have a sharp knife. It's really, really important. Right, just going to wipe off the metal filaments that would have come off my sharpening. So taking an onion, just a white onion's fine. I'm going to be cutting it in half. Now the dish that I'm doing for you guys today is 2 portions. So if you want to create it for more people, obviously just double or triple the recipe. So I'm starting with half an onion, and you've noticed that I've cut it in half, but the root's intact there, because what I want to do is create what we call a brunoise, or a small dice. So using my lovely sharp, just freshly sharpened knife, I'm going to cut through the onion, but when I'm cutting through, it's completely intact. It's still complete because I have the root there. So now that I've done that, I'm going to spin it around, and I'm going to cut through it horizontally. So first I did the vertical cuts, and now I've done the horizontal cuts. Because what then I'm able to do is just very carefully and slowly, always when it comes to cutting, if you're not feeling confident, just take your time. I'm cutting through this onion that I did vertically and then horizontally, and what I am left with is what we call, in the chef's trade, a brunoise of onion. So this is this very, very small dice, which is what we need for our mince. We don't want to have really large slices of onion, because that's not going to be that great when we are cooking our mince together. So onion is ready to go. Only half an onion. Remember, I'm doing 2 portions here. Half an onion. I'm going to go to my sticky sauce, which is going to be the flavoring agent, but also something that makes sure that our onions fry really well. Adding about a tablespoon of my sticky sauce. Remember, my pan was hot, so things are going to happen really quickly here. Onion goes in first and foremost. What I am doing now is I am caramelizing and sauteing the onion. Well, I don't want to miss out on any of the onion on the bench. I'm giving it a really good scrape. Really good scrape. Yep, one more there. Here we go. So onions in there first. Come this way. I want you guys to see what's in my pan. Alright, here we go. You guys got a good look in there? Fantastic. So, onion goes in first. Oh, it's already beginning to sting my eyes. Oh my gosh. I'm such a sook when it comes to onions. It's ridiculous. Alright, onions are in there first. They're starting to caramelize up there really nicely. What's next for me? I'm going to add a bit more flavor. You guys know how I always have ginger and garlic pre-chopped, fresh ginger and garlic in my fridge. I'm going to add in about 2 teaspoons of ginger. I'm also going to add in 2 teaspoons of garlic, freshly chopped. I did this myself with raw garlic. You guys know that, right? It is honestly the best way to do your garlic and ginger. Don't worry about buying that pre-minced stuff. That pre-minced stuff normally has gluten and sugar and preservatives. What I just showed you guys was 100% pure garlic and ginger. Alright, you can see that wonderful saute that we've got happening on there. The onions are getting a bit of colour. And this is actually probably one of the most important steps. Because as we're doing this, we're concentrating the flavours. We're creating a really wonderful base for our mince. But we're going to take it just one step further. And that step for me is when I start adding spice. So the spice that I'm using here is actually my cowboy spice. If you have my book, Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, you'll know that I have some spice blends. I actually got to show you guys. Yep, page 42. I have some spice blends in my book. And the spice blends that I have, and the one I've used in here is cowboy spice. So it's kind of that combination of cumin and garam masala and cinnamon, but I also have a Jamaican spice blend there. I have a Indian spice blend, and I have a Moroccan spice blend in there in the book, Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. But I love, when it comes to meat, I do find that my cowboy spice works really well. Now, if you do not have the book, you don't have access to cumin, garam masala and cinnamon, you can get away with it, but I would definitely suggest that you do take this step, because this step is going to really help to flavor our mince. So I've got my spices in there, and you notice I'm just going to add a little bit more. You notice that I did this all without oil. This is called dry frying your spices. Remember, we're blooming the spices, which means the flavors are intensifying. The onion, the garlic, the ginger, all of that is happening right now in the base of that pan, and we're creating one of the most wonderful flavor bases for the next addition to our recipe. And the next addition is really simple. It is what makes this mince on toast. Mince! So the mince that I'm using today, it is beef mince, but you could use lamb, you could use chicken, you could even use scrambled tofu, you could use anything you want. But the actual lamb that the mince I'm using today is a beef mince, and it's extremely lean, as you can see. So this is a 5-star beef mince, which basically means there is more meat than fat, which is a really good idea. And I'm adding, for 2 portions, I'm adding about 200 grams of the mince to there. Remember, this is 2 portions. If you're making it for more people, add more mince. This has all been happening on a medium heat. I can actually turn the heat up if I want to, just now that I've got the meat in there, and I will turn it up a little bit because we want it to really start frying away. Give it a bit of a stir. As you're stirring, the onion, the garlic, the ginger and the spices start to make friends with the mince. Now they're buddies. They are buddies in the pan. You want things to fry. Don't step away from your cooktop. Try and stay close to your cooking appliance, because you really get to see what's happening in there, which is important because this is such a visual art. Cooking is visual, and it's about smell, and it's about taste. You know, it's not just it's really hard to understand unless you're right in that pan, right along there, making sure it's cooked. Oh my gosh, I can smell the cowboy spice. I love it so, so much. All right, how long has the mince been in there, guys? It's on just above medium heat. We've probably been in there for about 1.5 minutes. We've already got a really good colour happening there with the mince. So all I need to do now, it's almost ready. This is how quick this dish is. We are almost ready. Dad, brother, uncle, grandpa, whoever you're making Father's Day brunch or breakfast for, or whether it's just for yourself because this is delicious and it's really healthy. Whoever is you're making this for, it's a really, really quick process. It's really quick. Even though there's 3 stages, it's really quick. So, happy with that. Look at that colour. I'm blowing away the steam so you guys can see. I'm really happy with that colour now that we've got in there. The last thing I'm going to do is going to add a little bit of kombu water in there and make a bit of a gravy. Gravy's important, as we all know. We like it to be moist. And now that I've added that kombu, you've noticed that the sound of the sizzling has gone away. So it's more about a stew now. So I'm actually going to turn this down to just below medium and let that tick over. And while that is ticking over, I'm just going to scrape the sides, just to make sure all the mince is in there with the gravy. While that is ticking over, we can move on to the next stage of this dish. But this is basically the mince portion. You could do something like this now. Add a bit of salt. Of course, a little bit of seasoning. We can also add a little bit of pepper. If you like it chili, you could add a little bit of chili flakes in there as well. Or you can do what I absolutely enjoy to do, which is to take some fresh herbs. And I've actually got some thyme here. How good is that? Some fresh thyme, reminds me of Christmas. Take your sprig of thyme, hold it at the top, and then just drag your fingers down. Give it a bit of a squish on the way. This is called bruising the thyme. It's going to help to develop the flavor as well. and then add it into the mince mixture. So we'll do that one more time so you guys can see it. Really easy. Hold the sprig of the thyme at the top there with one hand, and then with the other hand, just very gently, just drag the fingers down. You see it's just the stalk now, and what we're left with is the leaves. Give them a little bit of a squish. That's bruising the herbs. That's going to help to bring out the flavor of that fresh, gorgeous thyme. I'm doing it one more time because I like thyme. Ha ha ha. There we go. Alright. I'm just going to leave that to tick over. That is good. Totally happy with what is happening at this stage in time. And our mince on toast. Alright, wiping down my bench. I like to work clean. Let's get on to the next stage. Now, as I was saying to you guys, we are doing mince on toast. And as well as mince on toast, we're going to do some bread with it as well. A healthy cauliflower bread, which I've shared with you guys before in a video. So, and I think I've actually even done a recipe on Bridget's Kitchen for my cauliflower bread, 90-second cauliflower bread. So there's nothing stopping you from absolutely doing that bread recipe because it takes 90 seconds. And it only requires a few ingredients. So I'm just gonna, the last thing I'm gonna do before we get onto the bread is I'm just tasting the liquid in the mince on toast, because that gives me a really good idea about what's happening in there, and what's happening in there is pretty fabulous. I like it. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt, and we're just going to leave that to tick over just for a second. Alright, onto the bread. Come back here so we can start talking about bread. Alright, so when it comes to the bread recipe, like I said, I've done this one before with you guys. But I'll do it one more time because it's so simple and so quick to make. So I have a microwavable mug for a start. I'm going to take up, remember it's cauliflower bread, so I'm using cauliflower flour. This I bought at Woolworths in Sydney, Australia. You may not be able to track down cauliflower flour in your part of the world, so I would suggest that you use another type of flour. Like an almond, like obviously not a wheat flour, but a gluten-free flour, like hemp flour, coconut flour, more almond flour to make this bread. So I can find this in my supermarket. You can also just use rice flour as well. So 2 tablespoons of cauliflower flour, or if you can't find cauliflower flour, you can use another type of gluten-free flour, as a hemp flour, coconut flour, almond flour. All those type of flours work really well in this recipe as well. So 2 tablespoons of that. In this little container here, I actually have almond flour. So I'm just going to add 1 tablespoon, of almond flour. It goes in there as well. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. That's going to help to give our bread that bit of a rise that we need. That goes into my cup. I'm doing everything in the mug. That's how simple this recipe is. Everything is done in the mug. So I'm just over here having a bit of a stir. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I actually might take it off and start to heat up my eggs for the poached eggs. So I'm just going to take that off. I'm going to add just water, just some water in a pot there. That's for our poached eggs. On medium, Mince can sit over there. Let's finish off our bread. So, as I was saying, we've got cauliflower flour, we have almond flour, we have a teaspoon of baking powder, which is going to help to give us the little raise. We're also going to take a pinch of salt as well, is going to go in there, and that's all the dry ingredients that we need. Now, depending on where you are on your diet plan, you can either break this and like separate the eggs and the whites and just do an egg white in here, or you can also do a whole egg in here as well. So I've got a whole egg going into our bread, taking up a fork just so I can give it a bit of a stir, just mixing it together like that so there's no dry visible. You want it to just be like just a little, almost like a pancake batter. So if you don't want to add the whole egg, you could just definitely get away with the white. It'll be a little bit drier, but there is nothing stopping you from adding the whole egg, and you get that sort of look on it as well. Scrape that down. Don't want to waste any. So this now goes into the microwave for 90 seconds to cook on high. So I'm off to the microwave. 90 seconds on high in the microwave. Let's get on to our poached eggs, because I know, guys, that one of the things about cooking eggs is how do you cook the perfect poached egg? Really, really important, right? Totally understand, totally agree. So I've got this, just a pot of water, as you can see. A small pot of water. But even though it's a small pot of water, the water is filled up to about 3/4, which is really, really important, because we want our eggs to be fully submerged in the water when we poach them. So I've just turned that up because we want to bring that water to a nice little simmer. Not a full-on boil, we just want to bring it to a nice little simmer. These are all massive little tricks, and I know that people have the most extraordinary and wonderful ways of cooking poached eggs, but let me tell you, as a chef, this is how I learned to cook poached eggs, and they do not fail me. And I've been in restaurants where I cook 100, 200 poached eggs a day, just a morning service. I know a few things about poached eggs. So, water's on. I've already got a few bubbles happening there, which is good. I'm now just going to take a little bit of apple cider vinegar and just drop it. Not much, like a teaspoon. That's all you need. You don't need to put in more than that, because you don't want your eggs to taste like vinegar. It's terrible. It's the worst. So we've got that little simmer happening there. What you need to do now is actually just wait just a little bit patiently for the water to come to the right type of boil. This is really important when it comes to perfect poached eggs. If your water is not hot enough, your egg white will separate. If your water is boiling too rapidly, your egg white will break up and you'll just, it won't hold its form very well. So we're looking for the perfect temperature, or what the water's doing in the pot. And already you can see steam coming off there. As I was saying, I've got a few bubbles happening, but not too many. In the meantime, my microwave has been. Let's have a little look. Ready? Dun 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 dun. How good is that, right? Okay, where's my little knife? Oh, here it is. So just running my knife just around the edges. I didn't put any any non-stick stuff in there because this might be hot. I could potentially burn myself. Are you ready? Give it a bit of a shake. Oh, it is hot. Ah, it's really hot. Yeah. Look what you made. Look what you just made. You just made bread like that. How cool is that? 90 seconds. Look at the steam coming off that bread. Take that off. Alright, I'm going to let that cool down a little bit while we do our eggs. How cool is that? See, it just came out. Pop right out of there. Very, very cool. Alright, so our water is starting to behave itself a little bit more, which is perfect. I'm turning up the temperature only so it will come to the boil fast. But once it comes to that boiling sort of ability that I want, I will turn the temperature down a little bit. So now we're getting big boil. We're getting good bubbles happening in here. We've got more steam coming off it, but notice there's still not a rapid boil. It's still a gentle simmer, which is what we want. Remember that we want a gentle simmer. I'm excited. I mean, you don't normally get excited over poached eggs, but I am actually excited because you guys are witnessing this as it happens. Couldn't even get the words out. All right, now I've got even more of a bubble coming off there. Not a full-on rapid boil. This is called a gentle simmer. Now that's a rapid boil. So turning that down. That's rapid boil, right? Too fast. Don't want that. It's going to ruin our eggs, guys. Turning it down until we have a little bit further. Now look at that. Now we're at a gentle bubble. Maybe even one step more. A gentle simmer we have, which is perfect. Right. Here's another trick for you when it comes to poached eggs. Take a small bowl. It doesn't have to be a pretty bowl like this one. Just can be just a small bowl, and crack your egg directly into the bowl. Yeah? Rather than trying to crack it into the pot, because you might actually burn your fingers. This is another little chef's trick that we do. So directly into the pot, and then get as close as you can down to the water and drop that egg in. I'll do one more. Oh, that one broke. I'm not going to use that one. I'll get another one. I broke that. bear with me. You don't want to put a broken egg into a poaching water, because it will not be a great result at all. So, eggs in there, whole yolk, really important, not a broken one like I had before. Keep that for something else. Don't throw that away, just keep it for something else. So we've got one egg in there. We're going to drop in the next one. And now we're just going to keep an eye on it. This is the really unexciting part of of poaching eggs. And we're just going to keep an eye on it. Give it a bit of a shake. You don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to create the water into a whirlpool or anything crazy like that. Someone loves my slippers. Thank you. Got slippers on today. It's such a lovely day in Sydney today. You got to wear slippers. I can't wait to go outside. It's blue skies. There's no rain. There is no wind. It's going to be the perfect day. All right. So this is really important when it comes to poached eggs. I have a slotted spoon, which means that when I start even considering looking at this poached egg, my spoon is going to drain off all the water, which is really, really important. Alright, he's looking good. Let's go back here, because we need to start plating up. So, this is for Dad's Day. How good is that plate? Crown Lynn, the name of the design is called Maize. It's very cool. If you've had a big night, you probably don't want to serve food on a plate that looks like that. Make you cross-eyed, but that's okay. So that's the plate we're going to serve on today. So remember, here was our bread. These only need 3 minutes, by the way. 3 minutes for soft-boiled eggs. That was our bread. Cut it in half. This toasts up amazingly well. Pop it in the toaster. It is incredible. It looks like this when it's toasted. How good is that? Right, toast goes on. The next thing we need to do, we need to think about our wonderful mince that we made for Dad this morning. So and don't forget there's gravy in there as well. And when it comes to mince on toast, you have to have gravy. So this is our healthy, I'm turning this off, it's ready. Turning it off. This is our healthy mince on toast. Lots of gravy, lots of that mince. Remember, there's 2 portions here. So there's one for Dad, there's one for Grandpa, there's one for Uncle, there's one for yourself. Whoever you're making this for, even if it's just yourself, there's some for you and there's some for tomorrow. So don't forget that gravy. It's going to really help to soak up all the wonderful bread that you've made there too. And let's now finish it off with our wonderful poached egg that we have here. Still soft, you guys can tell that that's still soft. Using our slotted spoon, take your time with this. If I was to go straight from here with a normal spoon, you'd get water on your plate. There is nothing worse than water on your plate. I'm sorry to be quite aggressive about that, but it's one of my pet peeves. Soggy toast if it comes from the poaching liquid. Right, the egg goes on there. Oh my God, wonderful. If you really want to spoil Dad, what is stopping you from actually doing 2 eggs? Shall we do 2? Let's do 2. Dad deserves it, right? Oh, and Judy's just saying Crown Lynn so Kiwi. Judy, I collect Crown Lynn. I do. Oh, shake it a little bit more. Shake, shake, shake. Look, see all that water? Perfect. Right, here we go. Egg goes on top. Beautiful. Wonderful. Turning off my little noisy machine. So nice when we turn off our machine. Right, come back down here. I want you guys to really see this. Come back down here. Perfect. All right, so we have our wonderful toast down there. 100% healthy. We have the most beautiful gravy-like mince with onions and cumin powder and garam masala powder and ginger and garlic, and just so wonderful. And then we have our perfectly poached eggs. Only thing I'm going to do here, just because it's awesome, look what I have. I have mint, I have coriander. I know Mahei loves it, so I'm going to give it to him. Whoever you're making it for, if you're making it for yourself and you don't love coriander, you don't have to add it. Just give it a rough chop through. But literally, this is going to really improve the overall flavors as you eat through this dish with the egg, with the mince, with the bread. It's just going to make it so wonderful. Let's finish it off with just a little bit of salt a little bit of black pepper. Oh my God, guys, are you looking at this? Are you guys noticing that? That is the healthiest mince on toast you will ever have. Now let's do the final thing, which is really important. Let us now break the egg yolk. Are you ready for the breaking of the egg yolk? I'm a bit nervous. I think I'll do that side because you guys can see that side better. All right, are you ready? Let's break the egg yolk. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh my gosh, let's break this on too. Now, sorry, I'm licking the knife. Now I'm getting overexcited. I'm gonna break that one as well. Oh, look at that. If you want your poached eggs to look like that, it's 3 minutes in that type of water. That's what we're gonna get. That looks so good. But remember guys, 100% healthy. Can't go wrong, can we? All right, so there you go. Happy Father's Day to all the daddies out there. Happy Father's Mother's Days. Happy day, wherever you are, whatever you're enjoying, whatever your day looks like today. I hope you have a delicious and healthy day. And by the way guys, tomorrow I am, you may not see a lot of me over the next couple of weeks because I'm off to Berlin tomorrow, but I will continue to post for you guys. And I'll also be posting some really cool travel tips and where to eat in Berlin, Sweden. I think we have Berlin, Sweden, England and Wales in the next couple of weeks. So enjoy this in the meantime. Take care and happy Father's Day. Bye bye.